Hello everyone, and welcome aboard. In just a few moments, I'll be taking you through one of the most innovative areas here at EPCOT. For the courtesy and safety of all the passengers aboard, please keep your hands, arms, legs and feet inside the boat at all times. Parents, please keep in hand and watch your children, please. Thank you. There is no flash photographies or video lights until we have reached the boarding houses. Now please, sit back, relax, and enjoy as Walt Disney World and Nestle proudly presents Living with the Land.
Of discovery and awareness, the richness, the diversity, and the often surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life. Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicine, and other elements essential to our lives. In the desert, nature has created a very different but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. Plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients gradually penetrated the hard surface of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use, and sometimes overuse, of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being. How will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead.
We are learning that by adding composted leaves and other plant material to our soil, we can reduce the need for fertilizers. In farmlands across America, we are learning that by bounding vegetation and larger fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without using chemicals.
On our voyage of discovery, we've seen the richness and diversity of the land.
Developing and planting crops that are thrive and thrive.
Hello everyone. We are now about to enter our living laboratories where scientists from EPCOT, the Department of Agriculture, NASA and Nestle are exploring innovative and sustainable methods of food production. As part of this effort, we are working with the Future Harvest Centers to showcase new crop growing ideas from around the world. In our first greenhouse, we are growing a variety of crops from Africa. Coffee plants, like the ones here on your right, They were originated in Ethiopia. Forests filled with wild coffee plants still grow in that country. Today, coffee is grown in more than 50 countries around the world and is a major source of income in many poor rural areas. The sorghum here on your right, it is a grain just like rice and wheat. Unlike other crops, it can grow under the harshest conditions and can even survive extended periods of drought. In the driest regions of Africa, it is an important staple, and it is used on the making of bread, porridges, syrups, and even a malt beverage similar to beer. On your right, traditional African-grown sweet potatoes. They're white instead of orange. This is an important difference. The orange ones, they're higher in vitamin A, an important nutrient. Scientists from Africa and Latin America are working together to develop new varieties of orange sweet potatoes that taste more like the white ones, but of course have higher levels of vitamin A. This work could ultimately lead to a better health for more than 50 million Africans. When I mention farming, you probably won't think about fish, but fish farming or aquaculture is being used to increase the yields and protect wild fish stocks. Tilapia, here on your right, it is a favorite among fish farmers around the world. In Asia, they're often being raised in rice paddies where the fish waste to provide nutrients for the rice. This is a perfect example of sustainable resource management. American alligators, on your right, they are not any longer an endangered species. In fact, just in Florida, folks, we have over 1 million alligators. They're also being raised in farms for their meat and hides, while others, they play a key role in wetland conservation. In this greenhouse, we are working with many crops that were originated in Latin America. Cassava, here on your right, it is a starchy root crop that is over 1,000 years old. Today, scientists in future harvest centers are trying to improve this tough plant so that it can even grow under the harshest conditions. In this greenhouse that we're entering right now, scientists are experimenting with innovative growing methods on how to grow Asian crops. Folks, by growing these peppers that you see here vertically, we can grow more in less space. Vertical growing allows better airflow through the leaves, which help reduce disease on plants. If you want, you can try the same technique that you see here back at home by growing plants on trellises. By growing disease-resistant plants and releasing beneficial insects to eat insect pests, we have reduced dramatically the use of pesticides. Ahead, on your right, the Asian cucumbers. And they are a special variety resistant to powdery mildew. That is a fungus that damages plant leaves and reduces crop yields. Folks, there are over 800 species of plants in the melon family. The winter melon, which is back here, among the most unusual looking ones. The flowers, the fruit, and the leaves of all these plants, they are edible and high in vitamins. Exotic plants like these are finding their way through kitchens around the whole world. You imagine carrying this in a grocery bag? Heavy. Folks, we are now entering our creative greenhouse, where scientists are experimenting cutting-edge research that can change the way we grow crops. You probably noticed already that we don't have any soil on our greenhouses. This technique that you see here, it is known as hydroponics and is already being used in areas where the soil has been depleted. We took this idea a step further with our computer controlled drip irrigation system and even experimenting with aeroponics. The flying squash plants that you see here, the roots, they get all the oxygen they need from the air. Then the water and the nutrients, they're being sprayed as they go through the mist boxes. And our final experiment out of this world, as we work with NASA to learn how to grow crops for future space colonies. There is so much, folks, to learn from science and nature about living with the land. The laboratories that you have seen here today, they're just a small part of the whole story. When harvested, these crops, they need to be handled very carefully on their long journey from the field to the table. Around the globe, Nestle and other organizations are dedicating all the efforts to improve the quality and the taste of the foods the world enjoys and relies on. By all of us working together, we can preserve the land as a beautiful and precious resource while still meeting the needs of our growing world. Only then we will truly be living with the land. In behalf of Walt Disney World Resort, Nestle, and myself, has been a pleasure to take you into this wonderful, fantastic, and exciting journey that is living with the land. At this time, for your safety, please remain seated with your hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the boat until the boat comes to a complete stop at the platform. Don't forget, before exiting the boat, take a good look around you, gather all your personal belongings, hold small children by the hand, watch your head and your step, and in just a moment, you will be exiting towards the right-hand side of the boat. Just a reminder, Future World closes at 7 o'clock tonight, and World Showcase closes at 9 o'clock this evening. Fireworks, illuminations, reflections of Earth at 9 o'clock. Once again, thank you for coming.